Hello, and welcome back to the Hyped Mind. I'm Bear. What is it that is so difficult about meeting our own needs? We have needs. That's the first reality that oftentimes we just haven't come to terms with. And thanks to our childhood, thanks to things we learned in childhood based on our limited experience of life and understanding, we usually come to a conclusion that our needs have to come from other people all the time. And that's because as children, our needs initially start from other people. We are helpless as infants, and so someone has to feed us, someone has to shelter us, clothe us, keep us warm, and give us love. But a lot of times we never really learn how to do this on our own, and then we are born into environments that aren't always stable, and the result of which is we learn to continue to keep our needs being sourced outside of ourselves and never actually learning to meet them for ourselves. So how do you know when you need something, and how do you know how to provide it for yourself? The beautiful thing about you is you already have this amazing gift where your body does that for you. It tells you when you have a need. You just have to know how to pick up on that cue and look for it and be aware of that. So, for example, if you're feeling, and this can be sourced in a lot of different ways, this can be based, the result of a lot of different things, a lot of the negative beliefs that we have, a lot of the bad stories we have written about ourselves. If I'm rejected, I'm not loved. Stories like that. Stories where we look for love through other people, and ultimately, anytime we are rejected or anytime they don't do exactly what we hope they'll do, we end up reverting back to that negative belief that it equals I'm not loved, or I'm not cared about, or I'm not important, or I don't matter, right? A lot of these stories like that. So let's take, for example, I think one of the most important to look at is sex. We have sexual desires, we have sexual urges, and especially as a man, this is something that shows its face in a lot of different ways. I can say for myself, it drives me to want to watch pornography, look at lewd images, and act out, masturbate, have sex, etc., right? But this is just a desire. This is a desire, it's a thought, it's a feeling. And the beautiful thing is that many of us aren't taught, unfortunately, is that thoughts, feelings, they're not us. They're just things passing through us that we can notice and either grasp a hold of like we do often incorrectly, or let continue to flow through us and accept them as flowing through us, but not as a part of us. And desires, same thing. Desires, we're gonna have desires, but that doesn't mean we need to act on them. Sometimes I use this example a lot. Sometimes I desire to not get out of bed in the morning, but that doesn't mean that's the right thing to do. I still have to show up for myself and go and work for the day to make money and get up and get my run in, or go to the gym, or get up and eat, because I have needs that I have to meet. I need to make sure I have a roof over my head, and I need to make sure I'm fed, and I need to make sure I maintain the health of my body, etc. So yes, we have these desires, we have these thoughts, we have these feelings. I don't feel like getting out of bed. I think I should stay in bed. Excuse me. I desire to stay in bed, right? But doesn't mean we have to act on them. So again, going back to the sexual desires as an example, right? But food's another good one, sleep's another one. We think and feel that we want to eat more or eat less, or sleep more, etc. And a lot of times other people provoke these in us. We feel rejected and we think we need to, eat more or whatever. But again, we don't have to act on those. And so, but the important thing is we can notice, right? So what do you do if you're not going to act on it? Well, you notice that you have a need there. You have a need there that needs to be met. And a lot of times we externalize it. Well, how are you externalizing that? Well, if you're looking to engage in porn, to masturbate, to have sex, to eat, or whatever the example is, whatever you're looking to do, you have to realize that you're placing your focus on something external to meet your need. And the reality is, it doesn't have to, because everything is inside of you already. You can already meet that need. And more often than not, what we find out, what I often see for myself and for many other people that I've spoken with, is that, oh, I'm getting an itch on my nose, is that we just have a need. Oh, that the need that we're looking to have filled is often, it often makes its home in value. It's either some form of self-worth, feeling appreciated, feeling loved, feeling valued, etc. Right? That's often the root of it. But again, these are all things we can and are supposed to be, in a healthy situation, be giving ourselves, right? So, for example, you have a thought. You're like, gosh, I really love the sight of naked women. I want to see naked women. You think I want to act out on that thought. I want to masturbate. That's just a need, right? And you can actually dig into that and say, why? You know, what is the need that's not being met here? That's the big question. The big golden question is, what need do I have in this moment that I need to meet for myself, right? And it's not to act out. It's not to masturbate or eat if it's eating, or sleep if it's sleeping. It's to say, what do I need in this moment? And a lot of times you say, well, I'm just not feeling loved right now. I just need to love myself. Or I'm just not feeling valued. I just need to value myself and affirm my self-worth to myself. And you need to realize that you want to leave the habit that you have, and leave the old trap of looking for something external of yourself to meet that. So, and the same applies, you know, to food. Why is it that I want to just eat right now, eat junk food and eat lots of it, right? It's like, what does that fill me up on? Oh, it makes me feel good, right? So you have a need. You need to feel good, right? And you need to give yourself the feel good. And especially when it comes to masturbation, right? If you have a need that you identify that, oh, I just don't feel loved, I need to meet my need for love, acting out and masturbating isn't an expression of love towards yourself. An expression of love towards yourself is, well, like we talked about in one of the other videos, I'll put the link in it in the bottom, but like we talked about in one of the other videos, there's a lot of ways to show love to yourself. Simply making affirmations is one of the best ones, to say, I am loved. I love myself. I love myself. I do know people who love me, even if I don't feel like certain people love me. What's my love language? My love language is to give gifts. I'm going to get a gift for myself. I'm going to do something nice for myself. To, show yourself love through kindness. Oh man, right now I'm really struggling with this thought. I'm going to show myself mercy and tell myself it's okay to have this thought, and that just show yourself mercy in that moment. Show yourself kindness. Maybe you need to go for a walk and just say, hey, what would I really want to do right now? I could really use some exercise. I could really use some fresh air. I could really use a drive. I could really use some music. Show yourself love and take a couple minutes to step back, do something for yourself. And to do something for yourself that's genuine, that you really want, and not out of a fleeting desire or a passing thought or feeling. To do something that you really want, to take space, to take a break, to listen to music, to take a walk, to get some fresh air, to call a friend. Be careful with that one, though, because that could be looking for external validation, is an act of love towards yourself. And you'll, little by little, destroy this old habit of looking for external things to meet those needs, and you'll establish new habits to meet those needs. I know a lot of people who struggle with eating issues, whether it's too much or too little, right? And if they're rejected, or if they feel ignored, or if they feel like someone they're looking for love from doesn't give it to them, or whatever, they are inclined to either not eat or to eat, whatever the situation. And those are the moments where, when you feel those inclinations, you can catch yourself and you can say, what's the need? This is the big question. Like I said, what is the need that I have right now that is not being met, and that I can meet for myself? And that's a good affirmation too, is to say I can meet my own needs, right? What is the need right now that is not being met that I can meet for myself? You have to believe you can meet your own needs. And like I said, often, more than not, it's just feeling valued, feeling loved, something similar to that. Maybe you feel alone, you need to feel some connection. Whatever it is, identify that need. Remind yourself you can meet that need for yourself, and then go and fill it. And again, I'll post the other video about how to love yourself in the link in the comments. But a couple minutes ago, I mentioned some of the good ways to meet those needs. Maybe you need a rest. Maybe you need water. Maybe you need to actually nourish yourself with something healthy like an apple. Maybe you need to go for a walk. Whatever it is, right? But remember this big question. Catch yourself in those moments of really getting hung up on those thoughts and feelings and desires, instead of just noticing them and letting them pass. And ask yourself, what is the need that is not being met right now that I need and should meet for myself and can meet for myself? Don't forget to hit like, to hit subscribe. It's free. It's the only free thing I'm going to ask of you, and it helps us out immensely. Thanks so much. Peace. Go meet your needs.